Okay, here's part 3 of my scrap room. So we did the bottom half of the bench and now we're up on the top. Again, this bench is just made from an IKEA pantry side, so it's not the heaviest surface, but it is working height. Little turnaround, and I've got my buttons sorted in these little drawers, which I couldn't figure out what to do with the drawers because they're so tiny. And then I just put my label of what color is in there. I should have started at the left, huh? Oh well. Little tiny drawers that I got at Big Lots at one time. These are really very specific tags. These go to that weird little crimper tool. Bits, which would be things that I've broken over the years that I think would be neat. Jewelry stuff, glue, that's hot glue specifically, and then a couple that are empty. My hot glue gun, vintage buttons that are still on cards. If they come off the card, I just mix them in with the regular buttons. This is where I got my 8x8 paper. I don't have a ton of it right now, so it's just sitting on the desktop. Fun little divider that or sorter that I got at Target, maybe? Don't know. I remember it was super cheap. And it's kind of little things that I've been working on, or little things that are drying. Things my son has made for me. My Ottlight in pink. I love it. Not a big fan of pink, but I do love the pink Ottlight. And a little tribute to my Yoga Monster mat. Love me some big Yoga Monster. This is how I keep my glitters. To be perfectly honest, I don't use a lot of glitter, but I think it's so pretty that I like to have it out, so that's how I roll. These are little cubes, and they hung on the wall in my last arrangement of this room. I got them at the Goodwill, put a fresh coat of white on them so they wouldn't look so bad. And here's where I've got just little tiny sets of rub-ons. I think these are mini marks by American Crafts, and I've just got a whole bunch of them because I found them really cheap, and they're very handy. Little mismatch things and some sanitizer lotion because everyone needs that. And then this is sort of spare pictures and things I'm working on. This is my portable scrap thing that I take with me when I crop. I don't crop all that much anymore, but I do go downstairs, especially in the summertime. And so this is kind of packed with things I use every day. And it's not so handy in this room, but it was really handy in the last incarnation of this room. So in the center, I keep my super flat pencil box, which I've had forever. I used it in college. And this is where I put my teeny tiny scraps. And it works great. If my son needs a little tiny piece of paper, I can whip it out of there. If I'm off at a crop, it gives me access to, 100, 200 different kinds of paper if I need a little tiny accent. This also has some scissors in it. I don't think you can see it. My gender effer and pin. All genders are welcome. I've got these little glue runners that I got at Costco. They came in a massive pack, and they're okay. They don't stick all that well, though, so I don't recommend them. And the awesome Martha Stewart non-skid ruler. In the back here, got some little notebooks for taking notes. These are fun storage kitchen, and they're glass that I got from Big Lots, and this has all my bling in it, including a permanent piece of bling. This is all my paint brushes and my feather calligraphy and that kind of stuff, which is super fun to have. And then right above here, I've got these cabinets, and these cabinets came from the recycle store, or the reuse store from Habitat for Humanity. And I think it was about $50 for the whole set. My Eclipse ticket. Ooh, I'm kind of a Twilight fan. Little over-the-door hanger. It's got some books and stuff to alter. Inside I've got sewing stuff up here. Here's some Mod Podge. This contains like vintage laces and stuff that I got from my grandmother. Punch that I use frequently, which is my little square punch. And a little fun Lazy Susan again from Goodwill. I found this is the best way to store these Martha Stewart punches. It gives me really good access to them, and I use them all the time. I think they're really cool shapes. And then I just have all my liquids up here. Alcohol for making I can't think what it's really called. I call it Angel Mist. But you just mix, well, that one's not even mixed. Anyway, you mix rubbing alcohol with pure pigment powder and re-inking ink for your stamp pads. Shake it all up and it's the same thing. Glimmer Mist, that's what I'm talking about. Tacky glue from Aleene's, and then this is my favorite. Aleene's Tack It Over and Over Again. Again, saw it on YouTube. unmount your wooden stamps, paint them with this, and then they'll stick to your clear acrylic blocks. Works great. Just got some of these temporary hangers up here to hold my big circle maker, which I think is super fun, but I rarely use. Above this cupboard I have storage, and you gotta promise me you won't make fun of how badly these cabinets are mounted, but they stay up. There's no side, and there's big screws sticking out everywhere, but this is just ephemera stuff that's ready to be scrapbooked. In these top cupboards up here, I'm really tall, so the tall storage works for me. I've got styrofoam stuff, I've got the little tiny cuddle bug. This is all patterns for sewing, which I don't do very often. And then this is kind of where I keep my stamp stuff and my little jars of knickknacks. So on this side I've got little ribbons that came from a kit. Again, more of these glass jars from Big Lots. I'm not a big fan of plastic, so this works really good for me. I'm able to see. This is that little crimping tool that goes with all the little tags. This is super fun. I saw someone else do this, and so I made myself one. It's a little jar that's labeled Strings for Spring, and it's to put out little ends of things from my winter knitting for the birds when they're making their nests. This has got a little bit of Fimo in it. This is how I keep my flowers. I don't have a ton of them, but they are really fun. Flocking, wire, petals from the dollar store. Really good for your glimmer mist. This is grunge board. And I just ran the label through my magnet maker, so it works really good. I only have a few beads sorted out in here, but that's a nice way to store them if you have upright storage. This is where I keep my few large wooden stamps that I have not dismounted. Like some of these are early 1980s stamps, which would not come off very well. They wouldn't survive, so I've just left them. And again, that's the Stampin' Up! Cases. Right here I've got just a couple of shelves that are mounted on these adjustable brackets. This is a divider, again, from Goodwill. It's got all my metal embellishments in it. It works really good. Little Lazy Susan, my speakers. My improvised iPod holder, it just sits right here so I can watch movies and leans up against that little ball. And then I plug it in there so I can watch movies. Little candle, like there's any chance I'm ever going to light that in here. Another one of those organizer trays that's really good just for things that I'm working on that need to be put away. My candy jar, which is hopelessly filled with only red hot things, which I don't like, so that's why they're safe. This is my individual alphabet letters, and they're divided up into their respective bins. It allows me to see everything in one glance and kind of dig around, which is nice, but still keeps it organized enough to work with. Fun little organizer. I thought it was really cute. It's not terribly useful unless you only have, like, I don't know, 8 ribbons, but it holds the ones that I have massive amounts of, which is nice. And then the last door here has my stickle storage. Everything has a little Velcro on it, which of course I saw on YouTube from everyone else. Oh, Rhett Butler, gotta have him there. He's been there since junior high. My Xyron. And this is sort of spare leftover stuff, but my Xyron cartridges fit right back there. Massive amounts of white glue. Label making supplies. These are little IKEA dividers, and they stack really good. They've got sewing supplies in them. This is adhesives that are unusual, so like the glossy accents or the lick it and stick it envelope stuff. Some more wood, large supply, wonderful little glue sticks. I keep those in massive quantities. This is my adhesive basket. So I have to say the thing that got me into scrapbooking was adhesives. I don't know why, but I loved them. This is my favorite adhesive, by the way, Dry Bond. If you can get your hands on it, stock up. It's awesome and wonderful. I can only find it online. Other adhesives, this is leftover stickles, things I either have 2 of or things that I don't have enough Velcro to hang up yet. Okay, so that is the top half of the counter, and I'll back up here so you can kind of see where we're at. And then my video that covers the rest of the wall is actually from last time, so it's labeled as 3 when I talk about it, but it's really 4, so forgive me. Thanks!